Hello and welcome to Anno 117 Pax Romana and my Let's Play of this beautiful game. This series is going to be my first attempt at a more militaristic playthrough, expanding to as many islands as necessary to protect our Roman Empire. I believe this is really how the game was meant to be played. Now, this is going to be our first island, or I'll refer to this as the home island. And I've selected this not only because of the terrain. You can see there's multiple little cliff sides which will make this easy to defend with walls and towers and troops in the near future, but I also chose it because of the fertilities. Having resin and olive fertility will allow us to get through the plebeians all the way to Eques on the first island. So we're not going to spread ourselves too thin by claiming multiple islands too early. So this episode, we will strive to reach those Eques by completing the needs of plebeians. First, we'll do the initial tier of Liberty, then plebeians, and then that third tier being the Eques. But first, we need some timber. Just like any good Let's Play of Anno, we need to begin with the construction materials. We'll go ahead and slap down 2 woodcutters, like so, nearby our trading post. Connect these roads up, and we will be off to the races. If you enjoy more relaxing city builders like this, I have multiple playlists now on my channel of more laid-back, complete Let's Plays of both Anno 117 and Anno 1800, another favorite of mine. This Let's Play will be different. We will be fully utilizing the military after I've had my own challenges, I guess, with maintaining a peaceful province, I guess you would say, in this game. So we'll go ahead and start building those roads out to where we'll have our first settlement. And I want to send our flagship down to Diana, maybe to get some additional timber. We'll greet our fellow governors. We have 2 in this province and then 1 in Albion once they settle their own islands. Just kind of lay down these roads, trying to be mindful of where our walls will go eventually. We kind of pace these out. This will work properly. And always being aware of elevation. One of the most important things in city planning in Anno 117 is the aqueducts, and water will not, cannot, will never flow uphill. So, this is a relatively flat island. Want to keep our population centers as close to the mountain slots as possible so that those aqueducts will eventually work and decrease our fire safety and increase our health of our residents. Over here, getting a quick look at what may be our second island, much larger than the first island. This may be where we eventually build our first amphitheater. But at the very least, this will be important for some additional fertilities. But we don't want to get too overwhelmed too early on. So, let's go ahead and begin with some population. Welcome our Liberty. Just a few blocks of these. Think about exactly how we'll want to lay out our city. Thinking about those aqueducts early on. Go ahead, connect those roads, and fulfill our very first need by placing a fishing hut for sardines. If you're new to the game, definitely take a style that you should be able to follow along and hopefully get into this game as a player as well as a fan or simply a viewer. Essentially, this is our first population tier, the Liberty. They have three different types of needs: food, public services, and fashion. Of these, you have options on which one you provide. You can provide all of them, however, these two options will have different results. So if we provide sardines, it will increase the population by 1 and plus 1 coin of income. If we produce the porridge, we'll get plus 2 population if we fully fulfill these needs. So for now, we'll just get that fishing hut set up. And with our additional timber, get some more homes placed down. Maybe something mirrored on this side. Maybe something like that. There we go. These irregular blocks are what I want to go for first, since I want the city to feel unique. We're still going to play efficiently, but in terms of how the population looks, I want it to feel like a very natural city. Now what we can do here is we still have plenty of timber, so maybe I'll place down just a few more of these homes, like so. Maybe a 2x2 there. And connect up our roads, like so. And I think at this point, this is where I'll start preparing those aqueducts. Now, this mountain slot will likely be our first, somewhere over here. Yeah. Maybe we'll be able to get one from this side as well, over here in the distance. This might flow down through here. So what we need to do to prepare for this is add in one lane of road, or one tile wide, for that aqueduct. Or that's going to be too wide, but wouldn't hurt us. Let's see. Maybe something like that will work. Alright, we don't have to draw that all the way out. Now that we have arrived, let's load up on some additional timber. And it looks like Zaranitu doesn't quite have a contract ready for us, so we'll return home with the timber. And we've invited now few residents in with the procurement of sardines. They're moving in, so we can provide the next unlocked need, the market. This has wonderful range. And we'll also go ahead, place down a tavern right nearby. Should work fine for our needs right now in this first neighborhood. Do something like that. Now, this first aqueduct placement will be maybe around here. So, it's advanced level gameplay. You can kind of block out where it will go. And as a little bit of a reminder to myself, I will put down some hard earth just to remind myself that this is a placeholder. Don't put any homes quite yet in that area. All right. Want to make sure we have a road crossing here. So our marketplace and tavern are all connected, and more Liberty are moving in. That means more needs have unlocked. Now we've provided both of the public services, the marketplace and the tavern, as you just saw. Now it's time for tunics. Now tunics are wonderful because not only do they provide extra income, but they also have an area of effect. So when we place down the spinner, the final production building for this chain, any building in this radius will actually give us additional coin as well. So we'll now integrate supply within the city, not just outside in this lumberjack sawmill hut center and by the fishing coastlines. We'll integrate this within the city. So that means we will need a warehouse within the city limits. So we'll place one of those down there as a blueprint while we get everything else settled. Now I think what I'll do is I'll place this here, knowing that there'll be a wall right about here. So we can go ahead and paint in these crops like so, taking full advantage of the space like that. Then we have the spinner nearby. I'll have very nice coverage. We can go ahead and build all of these. The distance between these buildings is healthy enough. And let's also go ahead and put down our first oat farm and porridge stand. One of the things you'll notice about my build style is I like to bring multiple field types next to each other, just to give some color contrast. You'll see here in a moment. See, we have the hemp fields green and the oat fields, those yellow grain stalks. Just think this looks a lot more natural, but also beautiful, and that we're having more colors spread throughout the island, through the city, through the production areas. In other Anno games, I may have just elected to put down a row of all my oat fields in one area to go for efficiency of that production chain. However, there's no drawback to doing something like this in the long run. Looks like we have a request from a Liberty. We can buy his goods. We have 400 coin. Get us some extra timber. Early quest. Ben, our advisor, is giving us a little tutorial, but we don't need it. Don't worry. Now, additionally, I'm going to need some of these pelliases, these hats woven from sheep's wool. But I don't know if I want to put that right in the city. So I may go ahead and have a farming area somewhere. Maybe over here would make some sense. Go ahead and take this road down to this harbor area. Then divide right down the middle. Little farming area over here. And the best part about these sheep farms are that the ratio is 2 to 1. You can see the production processing time is 1 minute on the artisanal studio for the Pelleas Felter, and the sheep farm produces 1 sheep every 30 seconds. So that means we can have a 2 sheep farm to every 1 Felter. Much more efficient than this 1-to-1 ratio of spinner and hemp farm. Go ahead and prepare this like so, and I'll get ahead of the game by mapping out 2 of them. Makes almost like a super farm. Now, what we'll do here, make sure our road comes around, because we'll want to take advantage of this space around here for another farm, some sort of field building, maybe another oat field. But what we can do here, place down this warehouse. Thankfully we have the timber. Go ahead and build both of those. Offload this timber from the flagship. And is it time to do a contract? The reason I'm taking a look at those are it's going to be really important for our diplomacy long term in making sure our fellow governors are happy with us. And completing contracts and even taking loans can drastically increase our rapport with our competition. Go ahead and continue these roads, making sure every resident has access to the public services. Something like this. Something like that. Very good. Now, a little bit of a check-in now after we've had all that construction of new production buildings. This is the progress in Anno that we get very early on. We have provided sardines. Porridge is coming in through this new oat field and a porridge stand here. Public services are great, and the tunics are getting up to speed. Now the Peleus, let's not pause that, but rather include one of these production buildings. Now we could go ahead, keep this quite close to the warehouse, like so. Keep the road like this. Try to give it more of a natural bend. Now, how would this work if we were to do something like so? They don't quite have access to the public services that we have laid out, and I believe since this will be another gate area with walls, better to keep things tighter in. Maybe we'll have more production buildings here with another hemp field as needed. Now, we've unlocked our first Vigiles, the Fire City Watch. Well, fire safety is very important. We won't be able to place this down yet because we don't have tiles. In order to unlock this next construction material, we're going to go ahead and advance from Liberty to Plebeian. Already skyrocketing into the second tier of population. And just as we did before by building our timber yards first, let's go ahead and add in our first tilery. Now this production chain has clay for 30 seconds, 1 minute for the tiles, meaning that for every 1 clay pit we can have 2 tilers. Then we'll also need charcoal in order to fuel the tile making process. So we can go ahead and plan this out. We have lots of river slots, 12 on this island, which is very, very good. Keep this maybe a bit away from our city, since there will be a little fire risk of having the tile makers. So we'll go ahead and do this, and then add some charcoal burners right about here. Give a little excess, because we're going to carve in a road like so. Double check, make sure we still have 80, just barely, so no more cutting down trees. And go ahead, place one of these here, and one of these right there. Go ahead and put down 2. So I always like to get ahead on the production buildings for constructions or construction materials. Looks like we have a little quest here. I'm going to deny it only because it's going to essentially throw off our priorities in terms of when we produce what. Now we need some more plebeians in order to fuel the fires of making our tiles. Go ahead and make as many upgrades as we can here. Plenty of timber, but that will exhaust us. Now we're making a lot of progress here. Might be time to put down another woodcutter. Since we have the warehouse here, might make sense to go ahead and take advantage of it. Put one more down here, and let's see, how can we build this in a way that is low impact on the environment? I want to keep those trees if we can. Perfect. All right, more construction materials on the way. Plebs have arrived, and they're consuming goods as well. Now, the new food requirements are going to be bread and garum. Now, garum, we don't have the fertilities for. I can tell you that right now. Mackerel, which is not on this island. Now, is it on a nearby island? It is not. This is something that we may be able to offset through trade or technology. There's actually some technology we'll be able to take a look at that allows us to farm for mackerel on any island without the necessary fertility. So we can either trade, get some technology, or ignore garum entirely for the time being by simply providing bread. That's what we will start now as the lowest hanging fruit. And we also unlocked the Sanctuary Need and Grammaticus. These will free us up for not only the tech tree for knowledge, I just took a quick glance at, but also for religion. Now, my apologies if this feels like we're going a little too fast. I like to take my time in Anno and really enjoy the process. However, I want to make sure that I'm staying ahead of my competitors at this stage, and that means at least getting the foundation set. Getting up to plebeians, getting these construction materials will definitely get us started on the right foot. From there, we will have a very successful Let's Play, exploring everything this game has to offer. But if I've learned one thing, it is do not underestimate your fellow governors by going too slow. So, I like to keep things a relaxed but healthy pace of progress. So hopefully you're following along just fine. And if you have any questions about the game or maybe about how I play or something you've noticed, please leave a comment. I'd love to interact with you. I respond to each and every comment, and it's the reason I started this channel, was to interact with lovers of this game and build a community. So it would make me very happy if you say hi in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and play the day and night cycle to get a little change of scenery here. We have the dawn of our new empire here and our small city on the hill. Slowly but surely the tiles are coming in. We're going to need a lot of them, not only for the sanctuary, the grammaticus, but also the bread chain will require many tiles to get going, in addition to the vigiles and eventually our villa. May not get quite there, but we can definitely try. Now it looks like contracts have unlocked, so let's see if we can do some of these. Looks like we got some crate pickups. Those are easy. Go ahead and do those. Grab these two, queue it up, and return it to Dorian's lighthouse. Let's see, how is his little town doing? Oh my goodness, he is slow. We settled our island way before. Sarani2 is a much more fearsome competitor. She's rocking and rolling, but right now we're ahead. She has a villa, but we have a much more robust economy and production chains built out. We'll send that down to pick up this flotsam for Dorian, and then on the way back, hopefully get some tiles. Now, workforce is all looking good. Upgrade a few more of these residents, just so we're ready for the next production chain, the bread. But in the meantime, let's take a look at my favorite screen in this game, the consumer production logistics tab. Now this will show us where the supply and demand for each consumer good is. Now the green bar is what we're currently supplying, the white bar is what is demanded. Now we want the green bars to be wider, and so far they are. So everything is looking good. We don't need to increase our production of sardines, or porridge, or tunics, or pelleas. Now bread is just getting started in its demands. We want to get ahead of this. So what we can do is do a little bit of planning. Now, I believe this will be a nice wide open area for our city, so I don't want to do production here or here. We may be able to do something down in this area, outside of the main walls. That's what I'm thinking for the first, maybe bakery. We could do, wrap this road around here. Kind of make a major avenue, planning ahead. Bring this road out here, and then take a look at what we may be able to do in terms of wheat farms. Throw this on blueprint. See about taking advantage of all this space up into these cliff sides. Right, and the ratio here will be 1-to-1 on the donkey mill. So what we can do here is place these down next to each other, like so. Connect these. Let's go ahead, trim that down, fill in this space there. And then we'll put one more, these wheat farms there. I don't know if we'll go all the way up to this side. Probably makes sense to have a road here as well. So let's go ahead and shift this over in this direction. What we'll do here, I'll actually go ahead and delete it. I think that'll save us time adding and deleting fields. If I do this, and then take this road like so, that looks nice. Then we can go ahead, put our bakery right here. Maybe like so. And this is why we're in blueprint mode. If I rotate this, maybe take an angle like that. Let's do that some more. Fill in these gaps. There, that looks much better. We'll plan one more bakery, like so. Boom. Connect that road there. Don't forget our warehouse. Keep a road extension this way. And now, let's see about putting in these fields. Right. Make sure we fill in these gaps. Right. I think that looks quite good. We should have some tiles free to do this. Start our first bread production. Excellent. And since our fire safety is a bit low, let's go ahead and add this vigility. Boom, we're positive. Excellent progress. Also notice up here we collected our first flotsam, so we're on the way to number 2. Now, let's see, what's the cost going to be for the Grammaticus? We want to get technology going in this city. We'll go ahead and add in that. Make sure we have these crossroads in order to extend the reach of this building. Everything in this game is really dictated by road connections. So go ahead, add in a few more homes, and begin what will be more of an urban center. Go ahead and do some basic blocks like so. And maybe just a row of houses. That was a lot of timber use there. But as I always say, if we're using all of our timber, that means there's progress. It means we're building more residents, which is good. Now, range for these public services, we're going to go ahead, add another one here. Should be perfect. And makes sense to have a tavern maybe by the river here. So what we can do, add in a road like so. With just enough space for a few homes. Like that. Very good. Now, with all that additional homes, we've provided our first supply of bread, but we also probably stretched, yes, these other productions. So, what we can do, go ahead, add in some more sardines. That is quite easy. Hopefully that timber will continue to flow in, catch up with our tiles. I'll go ahead, place down another hemp farm. Right here would be fantastic. Let's see, how much space can we use? A good amount there. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now we can clean up a few of these edges here. Just by adding in just a few notches. That looks good. At least better to me. Go ahead and add the hemp farm. And then, since we want to maximize our income here, I'll add this spinner over in this direction. And then a warehouse right here by the river will make some sense. Right, very good. And then a felter can be right next door. Once we get the timber, I know we'll have enough sheep because, again, 2-to-1 ratio. Now, I promise you, I will be prioritizing military. But first, we need a healthy foundation. And what I've learned through playing this game for a few months now and having multiple Let's Plays on this channel is having a military takes a strong economy. So that's why we're focusing on this production first. But we will try to start off strong on the military front. Tempted to continuously upgrade, but I want to stay on top of the economy first. Alright, I'll double check our statistics screen for consumer goods. Looks like we've upgraded everything but porridge. So let's go ahead and do that over here where I planned. Go to our Liberty. Go to the porridge stand right here. Go ahead and build that. Fill in all these nice edges. Sometimes that paintbrush works for me, sometimes it doesn't. So I want to have clean lines. Alright, very good. Excellent. That looks great. Now we should be good to go on that front. And I can see in the corner of my eye, flagship is on the way to Dorian with this contract. And the Grammaticus. Fantastic progress. City is scaling up, becoming more and more urban and now unlocking knowledge and technology. This game is beautiful. I really can't get over it. This is one of my favorites of all time. And look at this. A generous gift from Zara Nitu. She loves that we are unlocking knowledge for our people. And it looks like we have a decision to make. Do we prioritize faith in our leadership, knowledge, honest labor, or liberty? Now, in the short term, I want to make sure the Emperor is happy with us. We'll push him occasionally with things that he doesn't like, but in the short term, we have no military, we have no defense, and we don't have a lot of money. So, if we can keep him happy, our life will be easier. So the question here is faith, Emperor doesn't too much care about. Both of these decisions would be favorable, increasing our reputation by 5 with the Emperor Calidus. Do we do knowledge or honest labor? I'm going to go ahead and go with knowledge. Speeding up technology will be much appreciated. Now, what we could do here, queue up a few, and then quickly turn to military progress, I believe. So we'll queue up a few of these. Maybe like so. Just for now. Keep that going. Always good to have a healthy supply of technology to research. We'll turn in this delivery. Looks like our tile is actually quite good. I was planning on buying some, but let's go ahead and do a similar quest for Zara Nitu. Select our flagship. Grab this crate. And then try to skirt around the enemy in the center of the map here. I call him Queso. He's got quite a military. We want to avoid it. For now. Alright. Now religion is going to be the next milestone for us. We've unlocked knowledge with the Grammaticus. What will it take to get us our first sanctuary? Looks like we now have the construction materials, so that's great. Try to keep this also centered. Let's see if it could make sense for us to place the sanctuary right about here. Looks like the day is setting on the Empire. Going to sleep now. Let's see, I think this provides very good coverage. We'll go ahead and do that. Like so. We have a little edge around the sanctuary, which I like. Go ahead and set time back late morning. Pause it. And then what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of decoration here. Can place down some flagstone around the sanctuary. Fill in those gaps. And then what could we place down here? Yes, some statues. King Numa's daughter and wife here. With some classic cypresses, yes. I think that looks pretty good. Throw in a more little dash of greenery. And then one of my favorite ornaments, the pillar brazier. This looks very good. Go ahead and place those down. Look at that. Already doing some decorations. Finish out this block to be dedicated to the plebs for now. I'll go ahead and add in those flagstones here as well. With maybe a town crier. Keeping the peace around the sanctuary there. Now fire safety is starting to creep back up. So what I could do here, put in another Vigiles by the river. I want to go ahead and make sure we have a road connection in between here. So what I'll do, actually, move this home. Right about there. Slot this in there. Let's see. Do something like this. Like that. And then return another home there. Perfect. All right. We're on to the next flotsam. Keeping an eye out there. One of the best parts of any Anno game is kind of juggling all these tasks at once, where we're providing for the needs and wants of our people as they are promoted up through the different ranks and levels of needs, but also thinking about expansion, diplomacy, economies, religion, technology. There's so much to do. Looks like, are things working here? Oh, let's make sure our road is connected. There, everybody's going. Got a little carried away with our planning, but this is good. Everything's working now. And we'll unlock our next tier of needs for plebeians here soon. So more upgrades is what that calls for. And it's that easy, folks. Now, we got some options here. In the, we call these fashion needs, we have sandals and soap. Go ahead, start off with sandals. A little bit easier in terms of the size requirement, to be honest with you. It doesn't take quite as much space or real estate to produce sandals than it does the soap. Essentially, we need 2 lavender growers per soap maker, and they take nearly 200 fields, if my memory is correct. So, go ahead and first provide the sandals. These much friendlier. So we just slap down the salt pond, and here we go ahead and do pig farm over here by the sheep farm. And it makes sense, doesn't it? Go ahead, do a pigsty layout like so. Make sure it has a road. And then a tanner nearby. We'll be able to have 2 of these per pig farm. So I can do 1 there and 1 there. The lovely road. And now the sandal maker we're actually going to add within the city. So we can go ahead and build that. I think the distance won't be too bad for this warehouse. Keep an eye on it. Maybe we'll need a second one, but for now, should be okay. Now, this sandal maker, I think, could be right about here. Near this warehouse. Makes sense. Can we squeeze a road in between here? Let's see. Make this that orientation. Maybe finish that road there. Then envisioning our wall here, we can draw a road like so. Just a little planning. Add in some more residents, perhaps. Looks like these Liberty are ready to be upgraded, but we're going to need some more. So, why not place them down in here? Make sure we have road connection.
I wish to collaborate with your scholars.
Some 2x2. Very nice. Love it when things line up. Looks like we can turn in this contract with Zaranitu. Excellent.
Cherish your gifts.
And let's just return home for now. Flagship. Keep our safety about us. And let's keep going with this momentum. I think we'll be able to complete all the needs for some plebeians just by providing a bit of olive oil. So let's do it. Like in this area over here, it's a bit secluded, private, downstream from our aqueducts, or eventual aqueducts. Paint this road along the river. This forest here to the right may be perfect for our amphorae. Need some resin. But over here, plan out some olive groves for sure. Go ahead, place down the core, and then paintbrush around to make this a little more natural. Go ahead and start off with 2. Continue this out to the mountain. Want to be mindful of any mountain slots though. Doesn't look like that mountain this far away from the peaks is gonna be there. And go ahead and put down a warehouse like so. We can go ahead and put that in closer actually. And oh, Ben, we're on top of it. He's chastising me because we don't have enough aesthetics in our city. But little does he know, I've already done that. We've already put down a few statues by our sanctuary. We're beautifying. Now, we've had 2 olive growers. We'll need the olive press. Now this ratio, 2 minutes for every 1 olives, 1.5 minutes for every olive oil export. So we can put down 1 of these. Doing so right here. Not a bad idea, actually. Let's do it. Maybe like so. Place down a few more homes. Maybe something more creative. Something like this. Just kind of playing around with different street layouts. Let's do this, wrap it around. Now, I have this first cistern planned out. We're going to need another one for sure. So maybe it's time to do a little bit more planning. Do another one here. And as my reminder, we'll put down some hard earth right there for that cistern. Then go ahead and add more residents without too much care. So continue to plan this aqueduct as the olive oil pours in to the city. Already collecting our first olives. This is fantastic. Very good. Now, we eyeballed a few mountain slots. We have this one here, which maybe will flow into the city in this direction. This one here, come down this direction, I believe. So let's try to line up with that. Go ahead, turn the road like so. Add that single road gap. Like so. That looks good. I think we should be able to flow downwards from there. Then need to cross this eventually. But I think that's good enough planning. We won't be building around that for now, I don't think. Checking our city attributes. Looks like everything is quite positive. Bakery should be functional now. Very good. How is the charcoal production doing? I know we have the tannery. Looks like it's still looking pretty good. Excellent. Now, it may be about time to upgrade our first plebeians. Oh my goodness, it is. Alright, welcoming our first Eques right now. Our profile here matches up perfectly with the Eques. Meet the Emperor. We'll hail him. Increase the reputation by 1 and a missive from the Emperor. Going to Albion. This is something we'll do next. Changing province. A lovely little tip here. We're expanding away from Latium. World map here. In the Mediterranean. Albion up in this direction. Up north. We could check in here. Ever briefly. Since I know Ben will be eager for us to claim something here. Now we already have a governor. Arthur. Already claiming an island and cooking. See maybe what island we may want to grab. Something, just quickly dashing around checking the fertilities. Barley's very, very important for beer and happiness back in Latium, so a bit biased towards that. This is also quite good. I think this island here doesn't have amazing building area. Neither does this. This one has a nice patch of green space. Let's... It's a tough call. This really doesn't have much building area either. I've built on an island like this in the past in one of my previous Let's Plays, so maybe we shouldn't do that again. It's a way to repeat ourselves. Let's go ahead, claim this one first. Take this harbor area there. Go back to Latium. Put a little cap on this episode here. Now, we've reached the Eques. Time to start prioritizing what's next. That's going to be the construction materials, our villa, but won't get ahead of myself. It's time. Oh man, we will accept this challenge and go ahead and import some wine, if possible, if our economy can handle it. Go ahead. Yes, we are buying this. Excellent. We'll need trade routes to do this first request from the Emperor, but we'll save that for the next episode. Please stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a comment if you're enjoying or you have any feedback or you just want to say hi. I'd love to interact with you again. Until next time, peace.